DeAnn here. I thought I'd give you a little update. I just had my 8th dose of Spinraza a few days ago, and that actually puts me at the $1 million mark. So you can call me a $1 million baby. It's kind of crazy to think about that, and I really wish the price of it was lower so more people around the world had access to it. I know some countries that haven't approved Spinraza yet, they are working with the pharmaceutical company Biogen to negotiate a better price, and fingers crossed that works out for them and more people will have access to it soon. I know other treatments are also in the pipeline. There's one that is expected to get FDA approval here in April or May. It's from Avexis. It's called, I think, Zolgensma, something like that. That one targets the main issue with SMA, the SMN1 gene that's missing. It kind of replaces that. So in theory, it should work even better than Spinraza. Unfortunately, that one also has a very high price tag. I want to say I heard like $4 million, $5 million, something like that. But apparently it is a one-time treatment. At the moment, it is only for infants because it does have to cross that blood-brain barrier, and it's easier to do that on smaller infants. And I think it's an IV infusion instead of an intrathecal infusion. So those are some of the issues with that. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just kind of telling you what I've heard. As far as my last Spinraza injection, this one was a little bit more stressful. Not the injection itself, that went fairly smoothly, although he did have to kind of back the needle out back and forth a few times to get the right trajectory that he wanted. But for me, the injection is the smoothest part of the whole process. Here I have a little clip of my what happened beforehand with my transportation. Tomorrow is my 8th Spinraza injection, and I typically take a service called Medivan to the appointment. I live about 2 hours away, and I don't really have anyone that drives in the cities to take me. But this time around, well, if you recall last time, the van broke down on our way to the injection, but thankfully I was able to rearrange everything and still get it. This time, I had to change the appointment a couple weeks ago. They actually pushed the injection one day because the doctor wasn't available today. And so I called Medivan and rescheduled, and everything was fine. But I called them today to confirm the ride times for tomorrow. They didn't have me on the schedule. They had me canceled for yesterday, so apparently I talked to someone, but whoever I talked to was incompetent and didn't put me down for Friday when they told me it would be fine and gave me the pickup times and everything. Needless to say, I'm not happy about that. They casually said, well, you'll just have to call the doctor and reschedule the appointments. Sorry, it's not that easy. So I am having my mom drive. Like I said, she doesn't drive in the cities, but we've been down there a couple times, and I have the GPS on my phone, so fingers crossed that we'll get there. This video probably won't go out until afterwards, so I'll also update you on how the injection went in just a second here. As far as doing the lab work beforehand, it was miserable as usual. I did the first blood test, and it took 2 pokes to get my blood, which actually wasn't too bad. Usually it takes more than that. But then they called and wanted to redo the labs, so I went in. They got my blood. It took 1 poke, but I call it a poke and dig because they had to like dig around to find the blood. So it was more like 2 or 3 pokes. But they did get my blood, but then they called me after I got home and said that the sample had hematized or some such thing. So I had to do it again. So I went back the next day and did it again. And this time they got it, and I haven't heard that there were any issues or anything. So hopefully everything was good and we'll be good to go for my shot tomorrow. We did make it down there and we ended up not missing any exits. It's still stressful though because we aren't city drivers. So the whole being in the right lane and switching lanes and stuff like that can be a little nerve-wracking. After the injection, I did my physical therapy assessment, and that there are ups and downs to that. I tore through the 2 layers of paper, which I haven't done previously, but then I was not able to open the Tupperware container or turn on the light with my fingers, which I have done before. So it's kind of a wash in my opinion, and my hands were super cold. It's still winter here in Minnesota, so hopefully next time it will be better. The physical therapist told me that they're thinking about doing it every 6 months instead of before every injection. Shots are every 4 months, so I'm not sure how that'll work. I won't be able to do it all in the same day like I am now. After that, I did the pulmonary function test, and that's remaining pretty stable. So it hasn't been much change down or up as far as that goes. So then we headed out. It was a long day again. We left at 8 in the morning and got home at like 5:30 at night. But it's just one day every 4 months, so we can handle that. If you guys have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, have a good day and we'll talk to you again soon.